Ever wondered what happens when a full-blown Karen meets her match and her entitled world comes crashing down, leading her straight to jail? Well, you're in luck, because here are 5 cases where intoxicated and spoiled women believe they're above the law. Number 5. Beachside drama. At the top of our list are 2 women who took their joyride to the extreme. It appears they were so eager to enjoy the beach that they didn't even exit the car before plunging it into the water. Was it pure excitement? Or were they perhaps too intoxicated to realize their car was sinking into the shallow shore? On a sunny day at a beach, an unexpected and dangerous situation unfolds. Deputies rush to the scene after receiving calls about a drunk driver who was not just driven onto the beach, but into the ocean itself. The driver, clearly intoxicated, drove dangerously close to beachgoers and almost hit a child, creating a scene of chaos and concern. Witnesses recount the scene to the officers.
That blue car came over here and almost
that's where we're going right.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
The driver and her companion seem bewildered, unable to grasp the seriousness of their actions.
What happened?
I'm not sure. I was driving and they kind of stopped us when they said that we almost hit a child. I didn't think that we did.
The driver tries to explain, saying they just got stuck in the water and were attempting to get out.
I just thought that we got stuck in the water. We were just trying to get out of it, but that's what they told us, and we're just trying to...
However, the officer clarifies that driving is not allowed in this area at all. Both women repeatedly apologize, claiming ignorance of the beach's no driving rule.
Well, there's no driving at all over here.
I'm so sorry. We were driving from New Smyrna.
I know.
I really.
But where those rocks are and those poles that say no.
But their apologies can't erase the danger they've caused. It's a situation that makes you really think. You don't need signs to tell you that driving on a beach isn't a good idea, right? It's just common sense. But in this case, it seems that intoxication has overpowered their better judgment. The women, too impaired to think clearly, have forgotten this basic rule, leading to a risky and frankly quite bizarre situation. As everyone tries to make sense of what just happened, the driver's companion attempts to justify their actions to the officer. She explains the difficulty they faced navigating through the crowd that had formed around them. While she speaks, witnesses nearby reenact the scene for the officer, emphasizing the intensity and danger of the situation.
So much of a crowd.
Hey, careful! Well, shoot!
Yeah. Hey, no, we weren't. I mean, like, shoot. What are we gonna do?
Despite their attempts to explain, particularly the older woman, the deputies counter their excuses by pointing out the large poles clearly marking the prohibited driving area. These unmistakable signs, the deputies note, should have been a clear indication to avoid driving there.
Remember those really big poles? Every one of them has a sign that says, "Do not cross here, do not pass."
Meanwhile, the driver's companion is more worried about how to get the car out of the water. The deputies inform them that the car can only be removed after the tide goes down, which will take several hours.
So what do we do to get that car out?
Wait till the tide goes down. It's gonna be about 6 hours.
So can we take out what we need from the car?
Yeah.
At one point, she even asks how to get everyone to move away from them, to which the officer responds, "It's a beach. They're free to be here."
How do we get everybody to get away from us?
You're from the beach, they're free to be here.
Her responses indicate that she's not fully aware of the consequences. She appears to think that apologizing will suffice and they can soon leave. Little does she know that their lives are about to take a dramatic turn. Things escalate quickly when the officers reveal that the driver is being arrested for DUI and reckless driving.
She's gonna go to jail. Okay? Alright, so you can go with her, or you can stay out and get her out of jail with bond.
The companion's distress is evident, and emotions run high as her friend is handcuffed.
No.
Sorry.
What do I do now?
You can bond her out.
I will.
Now, she's left to deal with the aftermath, including figuring out transportation and possibly bailing the driver out of jail.
You need to call someone to come pick you up.
Alright, do you want your phone to go with you? You want her to hang on to it?
Go ahead and give it to her. She'll call my husband.
Okay.
In a state of panic, she pleads with the officer not to leave her alone, admitting her confusion about her whereabouts and how she'll get home.
No,
Leave me here. Please, I'm begging you.
call somebody then.
I'm calling. Please don't go. I don't know where I am. Please.
Eventually, she resorts to calling her husband for help.
Connery, I need you. Voiceovers.
Thanks, buddy.
I need you, Connery. We're arrested.
Watching this woman go from an entitled Karen to an emotional wreck on video is both eye-opening and humiliating. When you're a local or a visitor, it should be common knowledge that driving on a beach is a big no-no. Who in their right mind drives their car onto the shore? Only someone who's had a bit too much to drink, that's who. Later, onlookers share their perspective, describing how the driver narrowly avoided hitting a child.
Climbed that pretty fast. She almost struck a child. Child actually had to jump.
She was running over.
Yeah.
She was running.
That one too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another child.
2 feet away.
Yeah.
She flew right through us. 40 miles.
And ignored pleas from the crowd to slow down.
Wherever you enter, all the way down there, all these people chasing after them, trying to stop them, they wouldn't stop.
The officer emphasizes that the driver completely ignored posted signs prohibiting further driving at that point.
By all the signs that say, do not drive beyond this point.
But
They started
up.
up
If they
this-
didn't get stuck, they would have hauled us down here. They
Yeah.
probably would have hit something.
The next time you head to the beach, remember to park in the designated area, not on the shore. You know, just in case you get too excited and forget. Number 4. Traffic stop turmoil. Our story unfolds with Officer Shane making an initial stop for reckless driving, a barrage of speeding and weaving in and out of traffic. The driver in question is Christina, and as the interaction unfolds, it becomes clear that this traffic stop is far from routine. As Christina rolls down her window, Officer Shane introduces himself and inquires about her erratic driving. Christina softly replies, claiming she wasn't driving excessively fast.
I didn't go that fast.
You what now?
I think I didn't go that fast. I was like at 45.
In a polite manner, Officer Shane proceeds to request Christina's license, registration, and proof of insurance, all while noting her unsteady driving and kindly asking her to roll down both her windows for safety purposes.
Can you roll that window down over on that side?
Excuse me?
Can you roll that window down, please?
That window?
Yes, roll that
Why?
window down. Because we want you to roll that window down as well.
However, Christina's behavior begins to raise concerns as she appears visibly agitated and struggles to locate her driver's license. It's evident that she's perturbed by the officer's flashlights, and she seems to be under significant stress.
That window down over on that side.
Excuse me?
Can you roll that window down, please?
That window?
Yes, roll that
Why?
window down. Because we want you to roll that window down as well.
Frustration starts to creep in, and Christina questions the reason for the officer's inspection.
I'm hiding something?
Well, I hope you're not. Well, don't feel embarrassed. Now, you gotta leave that window down for me. Leave that window down for me.
In response to Christina's irritation, Officer Shane works to ease her apprehension, calmly explaining that they need to assess the situation and ensure her safety.
Well, we gotta be able to see what you're doing, ma'am. Hey, listen, relax. Relax.
Okay, relax.
Christina can't find her driver's license and offers multiple excuses. Because of this, the officer decides to just note down her name and information.
What's your first name? Ma'am? What's your first name?
Christina?
Christina?
Concerned that she might drive away if left alone, the officer asks her to turn off the car and place the keys on the roof for safety.
Her shut the car off and put those keys on the roof because I don't trust her to sit there.
Hey, can you do me a favor, ma'am? Just real quick for me. Hey, listen to me. Look right here. Look right here. Shut your car off for me real quick, okay?
However, Christina is far from cooperative.
It's okay. Relax and shut the vehicle
No.
off. You have to relax. Hey, shut the vehicle off for me, ma'am. Shut the vehicle. Do not drive off. Don't do that. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to do that, okay?
I don't.
She resists, expressing her wish to go home to her daughter, all the while showing emotional distress. Due to Christina's confused resistance and reluctance to cooperate, the officers decide it's necessary for her to exit the vehicle.
Forward or step out of the vehicle.
Because you're not cooperating with my officer.
No, because
Come on.
I don't want it what he wants.
Don't touch that. Get on out.
Officer Shane, keenly aware of Christina's evident distress, engages in a conversation with her once more, gently inquiring about her information and whereabouts. He adopts a calm and considerate approach, aiming to alleviate any additional stress for Christina. During this interaction, Christina shares that she's only consumed 2 drinks while spending time with her friends at the beach. She again emphasizes her desire to return home to her daughter.
I just want to go get back and get my daughter. I just went to Navarre Beach to see a friend, and I just want to go back.
Despite Christina's best efforts to convince the officers of her sobriety, they firmly believe she may be driving under the influence.
I can tell you right now, I suspect you of driving under the influence. All right? I don't think you're fit to operate a motor vehicle. And I'm pretty sure my partner's in the same boat.
Stressing the erratic nature of her driving, they propose a sobriety test to assess her fitness to drive.
With all of those things in mind, are you willing to submit to standardized field sobriety tasks so that we can determine whether or not you are fit to operate a motor vehicle?
Amidst this unfolding drama, Christina clings to her unwavering desire to return home. Here, the officer stands at a crossroads, skillfully navigating the fine line between upholding the law and managing a driver in the throes of emotional turmoil. Undeterred by her emotional pleas, the officer presents her with another opportunity, a pivotal moment when Christina finally agrees.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Will you submit to performing some standardized field sobriety tasks?
Yeah, I just want to walk off.
Even before the sobriety test can commence, Christina becomes increasingly agitated, leading to a tantrum.
Oh, hold on. Don't fall on me. Do not fall down. Hey, stand right here. We're not going anywhere. Listen, if you don't quit getting squirrely with me, we're going to have to put you in handcuffs, okay? Right.
Fears of potential abuse or being handcuffed by the officers escalate her resistance.
To be abused, you guys.
We're not abusing anything,
Okay.
ma'am. Are you going to do the task or not?
Yeah.
Then stand still.
As tension mounts, she levels accusations of abuse against the officers.
Touch me.
Hey, do not get combative.
Don't touch me.
Listen.
Don't touch me.
You're not getting in your vehicle.
No.
If you pull back again one more time, you're going to handcuffs.
Don't touch me.
All right, turn around and put your hands behind your back.
The situation eventually reaches a critical juncture where Christina receives a stern warning. If she doesn't cease her meltdowns, she'll be placed in handcuffs. Despite her protest, Christina is indeed handcuffed due to her continued resistance.
Hands behind your back. Do it now.
Christina's resistance and emotional turmoil persist as she's guided into the cop car.
No,
Get back in the car.
I need my stuff. I need my bag. I need my kids.
It's at this moment that the officer delivers the news of her DUI arrest, marking the end of any possibility for a sobriety test.
Understand, you are currently under the arrest for DUI.
I didn't do something wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
This guy
You cannot.
just wanted just...
No, it's not anything like that. It's not. We want to do anything.
Christina ultimately gets charged with DUI and resisting the officers. If she'd only played it straight from the beginning, things might have turned out less rough for her. It's a lesson that when you slip up, it's usually smarter to fess up right away instead of trying to duck and cover. Christina's story also reminds us that the police stick to their playbook. No matter how much you beg or get emotional, the law's the law, and it doesn't play favorites. Number 3. Tipsy trouble in a bar. On March 26, 2023, in sunny Florida, officers received a call about a disturbance at a local bar. What's happening? Well, it turns out 2 rather tipsy individuals are causing quite a scene and are flat out refusing to leave. Security managed to get both the man and woman outside, but that's when things take a wild turn. Here's what went down. 2 clearly intoxicated suspects receive a straightforward warning from the cops. The message is clear. They have just 5 seconds to leave the bar or face arrest for disorderly conduct.
Well, you have 5 seconds to go or I'm arresting you for disorderly conduct. You can put that on your camera. 1, go, 2, 3.
The countdown begins from 1 to 5. And guess what? Both suspects, Paul and Nicole, decide to play along, even mockingly counting with the officers. To add a dash of drama, Nicole pulls out her camera and starts recording the whole scene right in front of the officers, but none of them move an inch. And as you might have guessed, the handcuffs come out, and these 2 find themselves facing an arrest for stirring up quite a commotion.
Drop your phone. Drop your phone. Drop your phone. Drop your phone.
Now let's focus on the woman in this scenario, who, compared to Paul, takes a more resistant and defiant stance towards the police officers.
Nope. No, she's going to jail. He ran off.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Nicole is so clearly inebriated that she doesn't even realize the cops are holding her hands, not her hair, and she makes quite a fuss about it.
Holding your hair, he's holding your hands.
But it doesn't stop there. She starts throwing accusations at the officers and calling them names.
Womanizer. Wow. Is that an insult?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I don't know.
And if that wasn't enough, she takes it to the next level by spitting at one of the officers, possibly unaware that this will only make things worse for her.
Really? You want to do that? Yeah. Good try. Gosh.
As the situation escalates, Nicole's behavior takes a nasty turn. She starts kicking the police officer and cursing loudly at the officers.
Stop. Don't kick his car. Stop.
That's not mine.
No.
Don't do that. Come on, you're being silly.
In response to her outburst, the cops warn her about additional charges for her delightful actions.
You're spitting on me.
You'll be charged.
Well, actually, you're getting the charge. Did she spit on you? She didn't have any saliva.
Nobody spit on.
Throughout this whole ordeal, the woman doesn't hold back on the verbal abuse. She's tossing profanities like they're confetti and making all sorts of accusations. She even goes as far as threatening the officers, claiming she's been married to the FBI for 20 years.
I've been married to the FBI for 20 years.
We don't work for the
Oh, you want that?
It's quite the roller coaster of a situation. With Nicole continuing her unruly behavior, the cops stay calm and determined, putting her inside the police car.
Stop. 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 Will you stop fighting?
However, she's not about to stay put without a fight. The officer, likely feeling a bit frustrated by her actions, asks her why she's so upset.
Why are you so angry?
Because you're an abusive life.
Watch your foot. Watch your foot. Watch your foot. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself. Watch your foot. Watch your foot.
What's truly remarkable here is that despite all the insults and hurtful words thrown their way, the officers remain respectful, polite, and kind to the woman. It's truly admirable to witness such composed officers in the midst of heated situations like this one. After some back and forth, the woman finally gets into the cop car. The officers are forced to tie her hands and legs because of her intense defiance and growing aggression.
Help me, Mama.
With Nicole now inside the car, the officers decide it's time for a pat-down. They call in a female officer to conduct the search, but it's not a straightforward process. The lady officer asks Nicole to step out, but the other officers advise against it because of Nicole's tendency to kick and spit.
What the f*** do you want, you fucking
Oh, she is?
Because she's kicking and spitting, so.
Okay.
kicking and spitting?
The search doesn't yield much, just some vapes. However, what makes this encounter particularly trying is Nicole's relentless verbal onslaught against the officers.
Vapes for
How many vapes you got?
2. What do you know about? What do you know about?
She keeps hurling insults and accusations their way, making their already challenging job even more difficult. And just when you think it couldn't get any more bizarre, Nicole throws out some wild allegations. She accuses the officers of inappropriate behavior, including touching her inappropriately and being involved in some monkey business. Yeah, it's safe to say these allegations seem pretty baseless. Throughout the entire incident, the officers maintain their professionalism despite the verbal abuse and physical resistance they face. Being an officer truly is no walk in the park, especially when dealing with intoxicated and uncooperative individuals who seem to believe they're above the law. As for Paul and Nicole, they ultimately find themselves dealing with the fallout of their decisions. If only they had chosen differently during that 5-second window they were given. But you know how it goes. Regret often arrives once it's too late. Number 2. Sleepy Susan caught red-handed in gas pump. In this riveting encounter captured on video, We find ourselves mixed up in a perplexing and intense scenario involving a woman who has fallen asleep inside her car at a gas pump. What begins as a seemingly straightforward situation quickly takes a twist into the realm of potential criminal charges, presenting a complex challenge for the officers involved. The officer in charge of the scene approaches the vehicle and knocks on the window, revealing the woman sleeping soundly.
Sheriff's office. Hey, how's it going?
I'm sorry.
The woman apologizes and explains that she's run out of gas, which is why she's parked there. The other officers proceed to inquire if she remembers being woken up earlier that morning, as another officer had already interacted with her a few hours prior.
You remember being woken up this morning?
Yes, and I
Jeez, when you
fell
can't
back
sleep.
asleep shortly after that. I'm so tired.
He then goes on to ask about her well-being, including whether she has consumed any substances.
Have you drank anything, took anything that made you pass out?
No, I just have been up for like 24 hours.
Her responses appear far from coherent, likely due to just waking up or the residual effects of intoxication. The officer proceeds to search for her identification, and as the woman rummages through her bag, he inquires about the presence of firearms.
Is there a gun in this bag?
No, there's no gun here.
Okay. All right, well, my partner told me there's ammo, so I just want to make sure there wasn't a gun in the bag itself.
The owner of this
The woman clarifies that she's not the registered owner of the vehicle since the actual owner is currently incarcerated.
He went to jail a couple days ago.
For what?
I don't know. He had a warrant out of town.
She claims that the owner granted her permission to use the car while he's in jail.
He'll be gone in a while, so tell me where the title was and everything, and keep on to it, because he'd rather...
No, you can still look here.
The woman can't find her ID, so the officer takes note of her details. He's trying to get her to cooperate, but she's becoming less and less willing. She's pretty baffled that she's being treated like a criminal just for falling asleep because she was tired.
So he falls asleep, so that it's like a crime now?
So what is it?
Tired?
C-A-R.
This is crazy.
Matters become even murkier when the officer inquires about her criminal history, particularly whether she's a convicted felon. Her uncertainty regarding the classification of a particular offense further muddles the already intricate interaction.
Is that a felony, habitual driving?
Well, it is a felony, but what matters is if you've been convicted of a felony.
What does that matter?
As the conversation starts to get heated, the officers decide to place her in cuffs.
Y'all are such...
Okay.
No, y'all need to tell me now.
No, he's going to talk to me first, and then we'll talk to you.
I have rights too, you know.
The situation escalates as the officer reveals a report indicating that the vehicle she is in was reported as stolen.
Report from back on the 19th of this car being stolen.
On the 19th, from the man that went to jail that told me to drive it? No.
The woman passionately maintains that she was granted custody of the car by the owner, who is currently incarcerated. Her assertion that she has text messages to substantiate her claims introduces another layer of complexity to the encounter.
You cannot arrest me for this car. I was given this car.
We're trying.
You want to see my text messages?
The suspect is then taken to the police car for further questioning, but she keeps mentioning someone named Sergeant Caleb, as if it's her get-out-of-jail-free card.
Call Sergeant Caleb, like right now.
Sergeant who?
Caleb!
Who's Sergeant Caleb?
Well, you'll know when you call the number. It's in my phone.
I'm not calling anybody.
You're supposed to.
It's a common tactic used by some felons, name-dropping or trying to intimidate officers with their supposed connections. But what's truly astounding is how confident this woman is in Sergeant Caleb's ability to rescue her from the situation. She insists that he holds a high position and even claims that he personally told her to contact him if she ever got into trouble.
Way above your pay grade, buddy, that if you are ever in trouble, tell them to call me.
Well, good for him, whoever he is, or she.
He's a sergeant of the DEA.
Oh, well, good for him.
So call
But
him.
he's not here.
The officer, however, makes it clear that they have no knowledge of any Sergeant Caleb and that there's nothing he can do to help her.
Sir, you're supposed to call Sergeant Caleb for the DEA. Thank you.
All right. Don't worry about it.
No, do worry about it. I was told if I was in trouble to call Sergeant.
Nevertheless, the woman remains confident and insists on her right to call this mysterious sergeant.
Sir, you're supposed to call Sergeant the DA. Thank you.
All right. Don't worry about it.
No, do worry about it. I was told if I was in trouble to call Sergeant.
In addition to the stolen car report, the officers also discovered firearms and illegal paraphernalia in the trunk.
You committed a crime by having crap in your vehicle that you shouldn't have in there, okay?
While searching the suspect's stolen vehicle, the officers discussed their next steps, including documenting the evidence they found inside the car.
And to take pictures of the ammo.
Is that what you would do?
I would.
Listen,
that way you can...
Well, it's on my body cam where it came out of.
Okay.
While the officer gathers evidence from her car, he informs the woman of the charges she's facing.
You're under arrest for possession of paraphernalia and possession of ammo by a convicted felon.
The suspect persists in defending herself and attempting to talk her way out of the situation, but the officers remain resolute in their decision. Inside the car, though not visible on camera, the woman voices her concerns as if Sergeant Caleb, whose existence is uncertain, could hear her.
Excuse me, I need to speak to you, sir. They won't listen to me. I need to speak to you. They won't listen to me, sir.
Even though she's alone, she keeps reporting to this imaginary sergeant that the officers are illegally searching her car.
They're lying. Sir, may I speak with you? They're trying to backpedal because they know they illegally searched my car.
As she continues her monologue of insults towards the officers, one of them enters and adds an additional charge for the theft of the car she allegedly stole. To which, of course, she reacts violently. Who in the world is Sergeant Caleb? Could he be an actual sergeant of the DEA? Well, whoever he is, real or not, one thing is clear. This lady is facing a substantial prison sentence with all the charges against her. She might even get a chance to meet the owner of the stolen vehicle in person and share her side of the story behind bars. Number 1. Arrogant driver's traffic crash. In this intense DUI investigation, our spotlight shines on a deputy from a sheriff's office who demonstrates remarkable professionalism. Actually, calling it remarkable is a significant understatement. Let's just say that this particular officer possesses the patience and composure of a Zen master in the face of chaos. Dealing with an entitled, intoxicated woman is no picnic, but this officer handles it like a pro and makes it look easy. It all begins with a traffic crash where one of the drivers was possibly under the influence. The deputy approaches a distressed-looking woman and informs her that they're conducting a DUI investigation based on some concerning observations. Right off the bat, you can tell something's amiss.
No, I was just driving.
You were what?
Driving.
The officer notices a slur in her speech. He can't even understand a word she's saying. He asks if she had anything to drink, which she denies. Then comes the moment of truth, the sobriety exercises.
Alright, have you had anything to drink today? Just... No? Have you?
No.
No? Okay, would you be willing to conduct some exercises for me?
Absolutely.
Now, these exercises might sound simple, but when you're dealing with someone who's less than cooperative, things can quickly spiral out of control. The deputy starts with the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, where he checks the woman's eyes for signs of impairment. However, from the get-go, it's clear she's not fully on board with the program. Just look at how she rolls her eyes at the officer.
You see what I'm doing? Like this.
Like this? Yes.
You're not doing that. It's just the starting position. Can you humor me for a second?
As the deputy patiently explains the next steps, it becomes increasingly evident that the woman is agitated and struggles to grasp the instructions. She either doesn't follow them correctly or simply refuses to fully participate.
Don't move your head, just your eyes. All right? You understand?
Absolutely.
Despite multiple attempts to get the exercises going smoothly, the woman continues to resist, or only half-heartedly complies. It's clear she's in a hurry, interrupting the officers and even attempting the exercises before they're properly explained.
And heel-to-toe steps back. No, wait, I'm not done explaining it to you.
I know.
Can you watch me before you try to attempt it?
I'm just done with it.
I haven't finished showing you the exercise yet.
While the deputy strives to keep control and provide clear instructions, the woman's impatience becomes increasingly evident.
I haven't finished demonstrating the exercise. Okay?
I want to be done with it. I want to go
I haven't finished demonstrating the exercise.
She rushes through the exercises, disregarding directions. Despite the officer's precise instructions, she performs poorly, visibly wobbling and failing to keep her hands at her sides. When it comes to the one-leg stand test, she cuts the officer off mid-explanation, eager to get it over with.
Okay. So this exercise is called the one-leg stand. All right, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna put both your hands and feet together, no spaces or gaps.
It's quite baffling how she, despite being at fault and causing an accident, appears utterly convinced that she can just go on her way without consequences. What's with the rush? How can she be so confident that she'll be heading home and not spending the night behind bars? Her impatience is on full display as she urges the officer to speed up, clearly showing her unwillingness to cooperate. At one point, she even commands the officer to stop, to which he responds by explaining that stopping equates to an immediate arrest.
Stop the exercise. Is that what you're saying? You want me to stop? You don't want to do it? Because if you don't want to do it, that's fine. I'll just take you straight to jail.
Finally, when the officer wraps up his explanation of the one-leg test, the woman gives it a shot, and as expected, her balance falters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, she can't even hold her leg up for a mere second. But what's truly astonishing is her apparent lack of remorse or embarrassment. By this point, she's attempted all the exercises and aced the art of failing them all miserably. However, the officer isn't quite done yet. He introduces one last trick, instructing her to face the other officer, place her hands on her sides, and then behind her back.
All right, last exercise. Look at him. Look at him. Put your hands at your side. Put your hands behind your back.
Suddenly, it dawns on her that this is just another move to slap those handcuffs on her wrists, and so she puts up a fierce resistance.
Put your hands behind your back.
As the officers try to place her in the patrol car, she continues to resist and act unpredictably, clearly determined not to cooperate. The officer issues a stern warning about the potential repercussions of her behavior.
That if you give us a hard time, all right, it's not going to be well.
I have a lawyer.
All right, put her inside, just roll her window down. All right, get inside the car.
Yet, she defies these warnings and escalates the situation by kicking the deputy, leading to an extra charge of battery on a law enforcement officer.
Okay, you just got another charge for battery on a law enforcement officer. Get in the car. Get in the car. I'm trying to see you now. Get in the car. Get in the car.
With some effort, she manages to stay seated, but her defiance continues as she pushes her feet against the door, preventing the officers from closing it.
Move your foot. Move your foot. Move your foot.
Why?
Move your foot. Move your foot. Move your foot.
Determined to maintain control, the other officer intervenes, pulling her from the opposite side to secure her inside the patrol car. Inside the patrol car, the officer takes a moment to clarify her offense and remind her of the accident she was responsible for, which she appears to have no recollection of.
Get a citation for following too closely for the accident, okay? You got into an accident. You don't remember the accident?
Yeah.
The situation escalates when the woman exits the car and a female officer conducts a thorough pat-down.
Sit down real quick. Touch me. Oh, yeah. No way. Oh, I'm not serious. No.
Throughout the search, the suspect experiences a meltdown, a stark contrast to the entitled and arrogant attitude she displayed earlier.
This stuff will take off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter!
Until the very end, the woman persists in her resistance as she's escorted to the station. Drinking and driving is dangerous on its own, but add entitlement and arrogance to the mix, and it's a recipe for disaster. It's quite remarkable how well that officer handled the situation, despite the suspect's challenging behavior. He deserves a reward. And that sums up our list, folks. Which of these Karens grated on your nerves the most? The lady who wouldn't let the officer finish speaking still gets to me. The audacity, Any encounters with a real-life Karen who thought she was above the law? Also, check out her other stuff showing up on the screen right now. And I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.